Welcome to an introduction to judging provided by the Los Angeles Metropolitan Debate League. Thank you for expressing an interest in judging at a Urban Debate League tournament in your area. Judges are an important part of creating a positive learning experience for debate students in every round they enter. Your involvement is necessary and appreciated. LAMDL harnesses the excitement of competitive team sports to inspire students from across the academic spectrum to spend countless hours doing original research, constructing arguments, and engaging in complex policy debate. Essentially, LAMDL uses the thrill of competition to inspire rigorous self-directed learning. Thank you for getting involved and giving back to the urban debate community and empowering future voters and advocates through the art of listening. This training module will cover the basics of what to expect in your first trip to an online debate tournament. So what is debate? Debate is an academic competition where students are asked to compete in a clash of ideas. It is an educational tool that allows them to explore and research policy problems outside of their normal classroom work. Each debate round this year across the nation will focus on a single broad resolution. The debaters will be asked to defend one side of the resolution in each debate. The affirmative team will present a plan that supports an example of the resolution. This year, the resolution is resolved. The United States federal government should enact substantial criminal justice reform in the United States in one or more of the following: forensic science, policing, sentencing. The affirmative team will spend the remainder of their speech time supporting this idea by explaining the positive outcomes of making such a change. The negative team will be tasked with arguing why the affirmative position is not a good idea. For example, if the affirmative is the United States should defund the police, the negative can present disadvantages or counter solutions to the affirmative plan. Your job is to decide that the plan is a good idea based on the arguments made in the round. Please try to leave any preference that you have on the topic at the door and give all of our students a fair hearing. Remember, this is an academic game. During the next debate, the students will be asked to defend the opposite position. Two basic principles of argumentation should be kept in mind while you're making a decision. The first is presumption. The job of the affirmative team is to support changing something about present government policy. If the affirmative doesn't convince you that changes need to be made and that everything is okay as it is now, then the affirmative has failed in fulfilling their burden. The burden of proof lies with the affirmative that an action needs to be taken. The second is the burden of rebuttal. This is a burden that applies equally to both teams. It holds that if one team makes an argument, then the opposition has the obligation to answer that argument. This principle encourages the students to engage with each other and clash over issues in the debate instead of listing off random facts and points of information. Use of these burdens can help you decide whether the plan is a good idea. Who is in a debate? Each debate contest will have a total of 5 participants, 4 debaters, and you, the judge. The debaters will be paired into teams, one representing the affirmative side and one representing the negative side. In most cases, there will be a total of 5 participants in the debate. Each debate will follow the same order of speeches. Every debater will give 2 speeches, a constructive and a rebuttal. Policy debaters follow an 8-3-5 format. Each constructive speech is 8 minutes long and where the debaters would present their major arguments in the round. A constructive speech is followed by a 3-minute cross-examination where the opposing team is allowed to ask the speaker questions about the arguments presented during their speech. A rebuttal is 5 minutes long and gives debaters a chance to focus their arguments on the most important reasons to vote for their team. Debaters will also have a set amount of preparation time to share as a team. Debaters can use preparation before any speech, but once their team's preparation time has elapsed, then they must begin speaking. In addition to the normal 8-minute prep time, debaters will be given 10 minutes of tech time. These 10 minutes should not be used if there are technical issues in the debate. This time should not be used for speech prep. We want to make sure that all of our students have an opportunity to compete despite technological difficulties. But if the tech problem is not resolved within those 10 minutes of prep, please make sure to fill out the Google form link located on our website, judge confirmation email, and on your online ballot. Each speech has a name based on which debater gives a speech and what type of speech it is. The debate proceeds in this order. Debaters will use evidence to support their arguments. Like in any academic activity, debaters should always cite their sources. They will usually do this by reading direct quotes from research that has been done before the debate. These quotations, or cards, are read during the constructive speeches. A card will be noted by the author's name and the article's year of publication. Evidence should be used to resolve competing claims in the debate round. If you are judging a rookie, novice, or junior varsity debate, there is a limited evidence set. A brief outline of the evidence and linked to our evidence set drive are located on our tournament website. If there is an evidence challenge made, make sure to text the help hotline located on your ballot. Now that we have gone over the basic structure of a debate round, we will discuss how your day will proceed. To check in, join the Zoom meeting room located in your email or text message blast and check in with your tournament staff. Please confirm the times that you will be available and when you plan on departing. Inform the tournament of any schools that you should not judge. Please make sure to report to your round when you receive a tabroom.com text message. If you do not have a ballot, please be on standby as we will assign one for you. If you do not receive a ballot, feel free to stay in the Zoom room. The Zoom judge training room will also function as a judge lounge room. Once you have opened your ballot, click the camera icon and get settled and greet the debaters. When the debaters arrive in the room, the debate experience begins. You have an important job as an educator to make the students feel welcome. Many times, students will be at their first debate tournament and may be nervous about speaking in front of other people. Please do not take away speaker points simply because a student does not have their webcam on. Videos can impact a participant's broadband or Wi-Fi dramatically. As a judge, please focus on the speaker's tone and use of logical reasoning. When both sets of students have arrived, you should introduce yourselves to the students and let them know a little bit about your background. Smile and make the debaters feel welcome. Turn on your cameras to signal to the students that you are ready to judge. The debate round should be a safe space where students feel comfortable. Remember to turn off your cell phone before the debate begins. During the round, you serve as an observer of the arguments being made. You should not interject yourself into the arguments that are being made. The students will do most of the talking. Avoid prompting speakers during the middle of a speech, but encourage students to give every speech they are scheduled to and fill their allotted speech times. A good way to keep up with a large number of arguments in the debate round is to take notes. Active note-taking will help demonstrate interest to the students and help you recall points in the debate when you are making your final decision. Just because you are not giving a speech does not mean you give up your influence in the debate. Feel free to use facial expressions and other nonverbal cues to demonstrate their line of argumentation is confusing you, or that they have sufficiently made their point and can move on. When the debate concludes, your job really begins. Start by congratulating the debaters on their work and by providing concise and positive feedback about their performance. Try to find at least one thing that each debater did well and one thing that each debater can improve on. Take time to write out the reason for your decision and sign your ballot. This is another important teaching tool as it gives the coaches and debaters a chance to reflect on what arguments were most persuasive in the round and improve student skills in future debates. Our online ballot system will require you to write more than 10 words, but feel free to add more. Your feedback is essential to the learning process for students who will move on to the next debate round very shortly and can immediately take these suggestions you make and put them into practice. Take the time to completely fill out your ballot. A sample ballot is provided here. Each debater will be scored as an individual speaker on a 30-point scale. Points should be awarded for reasoning, analysis, organization, evidence, refutation, and delivery. Most judges use a condensed form of the scale, normally giving the students points between 25 and 30. 30 speaker points should indicate this is one of the best speeches you should hear all year. 25 would be for students whose speeches demonstrate a need for growth in all areas of argumentation. A 27.5 will be for an average speech. Speaker points can be awarded to the 10th of a point. Choose what team best answers the question, is the affirmative is a good idea, as your winner. A final note, remember that it's the student's job in the debate to convince you that they are right or wrong. They can do this with evidence, clever questioning of opponents, or logical argumentation. Please let the debaters know that you are new to judging. This should clue debaters into the fact that you may not be as familiar with the topic as they are, and they should adapt their argumentation and presentation appropriately. It is their job to adapt to you, and it is your job to let them know what to expect and to give each side a fair hearing in the debate round. As for technological issues, one that you may encounter are student cameras. As I mentioned earlier, if this is a problem in the debate, please do not dock points or determine a winner simply because a student does not have their camera on. Remember that this places a huge burden on their Wi-Fi or broadband, and we would rather students have a chance at competing than not. If you have any questions, fill out the Google form, send a text message, or return to the Judge Zoom training room. Thanks again for your interest in judging and support for Urban Debate.